Retro console gamers will often swear by the fast response times and undeniably hot visual aesthetic of a CRT television. But with CRT televisions becoming rarer and collectors getting smarter, it is harder and harder every year to find a great set. Last year, in the midst of a search of my own to find a good CRT, I found the Haier HTR13 on a local listing. Haier is a brand that you've probably interacted with in some way, even if you have not ever known it. They were the #1 appliance manufacturer in the world from 2009 to 2018, and their name is on refrigerators, air conditioners, washing machines, microwave ovens, mobile phones, computers, and televisions, among other things. After entering the US market in a decidedly low-key manner in 1999, selling only compact refrigerators and electric wine cellars, they slowly fanned out their American distribution over the years to include full-scale refrigerators and additional products. And being a budget brand in the world of televisions, Haier was producing CRT sets well into the aughts while bigger brands were starting to jump ship. Based on its serial number, it seems that this TV that I have was manufactured in 2008, something that the Amazon reviews for other televisions of its model would seem to corroborate. And for a budget brand, the Haier HTR13 TV offers some unusual perks, especially for those looking to play and stream retro games. Namely, support for component video input, and composite video output. Now don't get me wrong, this CRT does have its downsides. Its screen is very curved, and its sound is tinny and a little weak, and the image quality is definitely not going to compete with a professional video monitor. Still, the presence of component and video out more than anything make this model something worth trying. Without modification, component is the best quality video you're going to get on an American standard definition TV set. And using my Wii on this set, the difference between composite and component video really is night and day. Unfortunately, with only composite video available for video output, the TV is not quite the retro streamer's dream that I had hoped it would be, even if it did prompt me to do some things I'd been meaning to do for a while, mainly mod my Wii. With Nintendo set to close down even more of its online storefronts soon, it's important to know how to mod consoles and continue to support them on your own. The Wii has been without any real support for years now, but my Wii has been running unmodded until now. As a member of the Super Smash Bros. Melee community, we often rely on training mods to practice tech skill, or just so we don't have to manually adjust the rule set every time we play with friends. And having an ISO loader like Nintendo on a modded Wii streamlines that process considerably. On the other hand, as a retro gamer, the Wii's support for a large variety of emulators meant that I could play a lot of my favorite SNES, Genesis, and Game Boy games, not to mention PC Engine and arcade titles, all in component video quality on a CRT setup. I ended up getting a really crisp image out of the set, even if it does have some burn-in on its screen from the previous owner. The screen's roundness was also a distraction sometimes. Parts of the screen would get cut off in some cases, and in other cases the roundness would cause considerable distortion in the geometry of the games I was playing. Now, I don't mind round displays particularly, but the Haier screen is rounder than most. This means that scrolling games in particular can be rather nauseating to play, and while component video really does look great for new and old games, using video out you have to rely on the composite input. This is because when you're using component video, the video image is split between 3 cables. One of those cables is a black and white signal, while 2 others offer color. Because composite only uses 1 video cable, it will only take that black and white signal in the video out. So if you want to capture black and white footage of games, be my guest, you can definitely do that. But if you want to output your games in color, which you probably will want to do if you're using this feature, you're going to have to use composite cables, which do have a lower quality. When you do output video from the television this way, the video looks good enough, but it will require a little tweaking, at least it did in my case, for it to be clear what you're actually looking at, and it does leave a lot to desire for those who do want a more polished image from their set. This could also be a case where my capture card could be better though. I used a fairly inexpensive one that I bought on Amazon for this review that was mostly aimed at digitizing VHS tapes and not aimed at a serious gamer demographic. Capturing analog video off of a CRT and then converting it into digital can be an extremely complicated and costly process requiring lots of dongles and wires and cables, and external power sources. So for me, as someone that wants to do this more casually at the level that I'm at, this is a great option. And then just talking about the television itself, I find it's very compact and rather lightweight for a CRT. If you're someone looking to start collecting retro games or play an old collection over component, or to stream or record or even mirror a display of a game played on composite, I would still recommend this TV. I definitely do intend to start using it for my personal use, as well as start bringing it to retro FGC and Smash events to stream and record matches. I've already used it a little bit actually to stream from an art show that I was participating in last year, as well as to stream Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll on original hardware. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the set. The geometry and the audio are probably the biggest downsides of this set, although I didn't have as much of an issue with the sound as some of the people leaving online reviews did. And even if you do have an issue with the sound, you can always plug it into a speaker through RCA cables, so it's not really the biggest deal either. What's your sort of setup for playing old games? Do you play them on modern consoles? Do you play emulators? And if so, what ROM sites do you use? What is your social security number? What is your IP address? What is your legal name? Where do you live? Just put all of that information in the comments. And yeah, I'll just let the cops know if any of you are downloading ROMs illegally, just to make sure everything's above board here. But hey, in all seriousness, let me know if you like this video. It's definitely something that's a little different for me, but I do have a lot of retro tech sitting around here, and I would love to make videos about more of it, sort of talking about it. I think there's a lot of cool old stuff that we still don't really focus on, even with all of the retro tech YouTubers out there, that is still worth celebrating. And honestly, just having something small like this made the work process for this video a lot more smooth than the previous video, which was kind of a rambly mess. So I'm down to do more stuff like this. It was really just a great excuse to check out a bunch of weird retro games that I'm probably going to play more of in the future, and get some really nice footage on my phone. I was really worried that capturing footage off of the screen for this thing was going to be really difficult, but it seems like my phone just picked up on the frame rate of the CRT, and I didn't really get a lot of the weird strobing that you usually get when you record off of one of these TVs. So it was really a pretty painless experience, and I would be happy to do something like this again.